We saw in the introduction to this chapter that we have both table styles and cell styles. Now, I already have some styles here created, and I've just grouped them all together so they don't get in our way for the formatting here. Now, the table affects everything in the table, where the cell would just be affecting one or more individual cells. So you'll always want to start off with the table styles like this. So select the entire table, and just like we do with any other styles, we create a new style. I'll just double click, we'll give it a name, and we'll call it Pepper Menu 1. There we go. I'll move this over, and then we can do some formatting. Actually, I'll just click an OK, and then I'll click away, because that way it's not reversed, and when we go through and edit it, you'll see what's happening. So, what options are available to us? We can base it on another one or set a shortcut key as we did in previous ones. And here we can set some cell styles for individual rows: headers, footers, body rows, left column, right column. Now, we haven't created any cell styles yet, so we're just going to skip over those. But if you had them, you could come in and nest them within the table style. So let's go to our table setup. Here we can set the border. Now we can come over and change the weight, and I'm going to change it to 2 point, and we'll change it to our olive color here. There we can see it changing like that. You could set it as a tint, for example, at 20% like that, and we'll ignore the overprint because that's to do with press ready items at the moment. And here you can set gaps. Of course, where we would have a gap is if we had dice line like that, and we could have a red gap like that in between the two. Let me tint that and you'll be able to see it a little bit better like that. So we've got this solid line, but then the tint is 20%. So I'm just going to put none here, and we'll go back to a solid line for the stroke like that. Here you can set space before and space after a table. Now this is a standalone table, so I'm not going to worry about it, but if you had a table in the body of text, then you can put space below it, above it, or space below it down here, like you would paragraph text. So you can set that in here. The drawing order, you can choose how strokes draw, because strokes go on top of each other, and if you choose best joins, it guesses it for you. Otherwise, you may have to override it. But if you want to always have the row strokes in front or the column strokes in front, you can choose those. You can go back to InDesign 2.0 compatibility. And to be perfectly honest, I've forgotten how InDesign 2.0 worked in tables, so I can't explain that one to you. But best joins works pretty well. It guesses at what you want. Let's move on, and we'll look at row strokes. You can have alternating patterns here. We can go every other row. Now everything becomes available. Notice it was dimmed out before, and we can set that up so that the first row, let's choose color, will probably be a better way to look at this, as red, and the second row is yellow. And we'll make them a little bit thicker so that you can see it. So it's just going to go alternating down your rows like that. You can see them. Let's make this one a little bit thicker. Actually, I better make it green. Otherwise, you're not going to see it like that. And the weight is 4 points. There you'll see it a little bit better like that. So I actually don't want alternating row or column strokes here. But if you do, you've just got all the controls there. Fills I do want. And this time I definitely want an alternating pattern here. So we'll go every other row. Notice you can go every second, third, custom. We'll just go every other row like that. So notice how it alternates. It's just alternating between 20% black and none at the moment here. But we'll start off with maybe a red color here. And we'll maybe choose 100% like that. And then we can come down and choose our olive color. We'll maybe choose 20% like that. Maybe make this one a little bit darker, 60%. 50 is fine. like that, and come over and let's just drop this one down to 52 like that. Notice how it automatically alternates. Now, I really only want this starting over here when we get into the text. So we've got two rows before it. We've got the first and the second row here. So we can tell it, just skip these two rows. We're going to format these ones separately. And same with the last one. It's going to be separate formatting. So I'll say skip the last row. So it turns these off so you don't have to worry about them. You can give them their own formatting. And I'll just step this one down to 20. That's a little bit better than what we had there. Actually, let me just choose a light yellow color like that. There, much, much better. So these are the options you have for the general table styles. Now we're definitely going to go in and start formatting the individual cells, and we've got a lot more control in the individual cells than we do in the table. But it's best to start with the table and then choose the cell formatting after that.